I spent August 1st, August 10th, something like that. I bought this car last August, not this August, but the week before, the year before. So when I bought this car, I just went into this total focus on working. Work the job, then do rideshare. Job, eat, sleep, job, rideshare. 2 jobs, rideshare. 2 jobs and sleep and eat. So I did that, started in August last year. And I paid off a few things that I wanted to pay off. And so I took July, I pretty much relaxed July, August, and September. Now what I'm getting ready to tell you, might think I'm crazy, but that's all right. I had to do this. Because that year, I was in total focus, total meditation, always in the moment, in the now, totally aware of my self being aware. I was in a different state of mind, and it was really very peaceful, very peaceful. Totally just peace, like a river. So, a whole year of just total work, eat, sleep, remodel. During that year, all the toxic people fell off. I had some good people, really good people that I couldn't talk to either, but all the toxic ones fell off. And the good ones were, hit and miss, But I was so focused I could only work, I felt bad. I had a friend in Canada. She's a really good woman. I couldn't talk to her much. But I had to focus, So I ended up pretty much isolating myself from everybody. Good friend in Florida I talked to a little bit, but I had to focus, So I had some good people I touched base with, but I was pretty much working all the time because I had a goal, And the good thing about it is the toxic ones had to go too. Hallelujah. Praise God. I didn't even think about the toxic. I had the toxic situation in my mind. One toxic situation in my mind that I knew. It wasn't on my mind every day, But I had it in my mind. I thought, was that healthy? Was it? It seemed toxic. Was it real? Was it fake? Was it whatever it was? So I took July off, and on August 1st, I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to summons this person back in just to see if I can still stay in my equilibrium with this toxicity, Because when you go a whole year, maybe a year and a half, a whole year, and you're just focused on one thing, your health, paying off debt, you're not thinking about anything. But here's where I messed up. In July, I was just sitting back, chilling, taking it easy. I had enough money in the bank to last 6 months, That's where I messed up. Because I said, you know what? Let me see if I can summon this person. See if there's been growth. See if there's been healing. See if there's been a change. See their state of mind, But I also wanted to test myself because I had stepped out of the matrix. I had disconnected with everything, everybody pretty much, because I was just working and doing my focus, my goal, you know. Paid off a $5,000 loan and also had enough money in the bank to last 6 months if I needed to. And so I said, you know, let me just see if I can, so in other words, I had left the matrix, the 3D interactions completely. I'd already cut off the 3D and the natural. You know, I rub shoulders with people all the time, but I'm not emotionally tied to anything in 3D. I had one emotional tie left on August 1st, and I thought, would that drop me back down? If I was to reconnect, would it drop me down back into the matrix? Because this is a simulation. Would I be able to stay above the simulation and not be emotionally consumed if I went back and connected, did a quantum connect, you know? I thought I should be able to do this because I'm healthy. Hopefully this person got healthy. But I promise you, the distraction, and you can't blame anybody, judge anybody, point your finger. There is growth with all of us. We all grow. But when you really disconnect from everything, it's like exponential growth, right? Especially if you're doing the inner work every day and you're meditating, you're paying attention, you're aware of your thoughts, you're aware of being aware, you're not in any kind of negativity anyone, you're just floating. You're just actually floating. You're in the flow, the spirit flow. Nobody could push my buttons because I was so focused, or push my trigger points, put it that way. Nobody could trigger me. It wasn't going to happen. The only people that can trigger you anyway is somebody that you care about, right? But if there's somebody really that's healthy that you care about, who really does love you, they're not going to try to trigger you. And if they do trigger you, and you say something, they're going to have a healthy conversation about it. But when you're in a healthy conversation, look at that plane has a propeller. I keep having propellers. See, propeller is propel. If you go back and look at the videos, the boot camp, and then I shifted to quantum leaping, you know. And today, after a few months of dropping back down into 3D connections, an unhealthy one, at first it seemed healthy. I thought maybe this is a miracle. This is a miracle. Wow. And the more I probed and the more I meditated on it and asked questions and kind of compared it to the other healthy conversations, I thought, this is not healthy at all. So that connection that I thought was healthy a couple years ago, I had grown so much that I wasn't going to put up with it. Don't matter if you love a person, you're in love with a person, don't matter how you feel. Once you step to the other side and see how peaceful life is and all that, you're not going back. And they usually don't rise up. You're actually a different person. And they're still in the old paradigm. You've shifted. And for the men, if you're dealing with some narcissistic gal that keeps coming back or whatever, and it don't even have to be a narcissistic relationship, just an unhealthy situation. You don't want to judge anybody because you don't know what they're going through. But you can see narcissistic patterns. See that propeller? Hear that? There it is. These planes, since I started doing this quantum shift, okay, see that propeller? I'm over there working it at my house, propellers flying around my house. I go to the other house I'm remodeling, propellers flying around. I'm sitting here talking about this quantum shift that I'm doing, and a propeller went there and now it's back here. My point is, propel means to push. There's 2 or 3 words that it means. That's thrust, to thrust forward. And so the reason I do these videos is help the other saints, the other believers, the other people that deal with narcissism and all that, how to escape it. Because I see these comments and I said, Lord, I need to figure out how to help these people. In my mind, I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking, how can I help these people? And I said, let me go back into it. Let me drop back out of 5D, my piece. Out of 5D, drop back down, quantum connect with what seemed to, when I look back, the memories and all have gone, you're just like, you only have the good memories. But you said, well, why did it end? Why did it crash and burn? It must not have been healthy. So let me just drop back down, connect with this. I don't even want to call it a relationship, because a relationship's two-way. If you ever dealt with narcissists or selfish people, it's all about them. It's all about them, and it's actually like a sociopathic thing where they want you to focus on them and only them. They never ask you anything. It's all about them. It's a psychopath type mindset. They don't care about you. They'll say they care about you, but they don't care about you because all they care about is their drama that they're in. And so when I was in that state for a year, I could see programs running. They might be sitting beside me or in the back seat, and we're talking. They're sitting back here, and I'll probably do some rides here tonight. And I'll listen to them, and they're all running on programs, And everything they say has already been said, So when I saw through this thing, this whole reality, let's see, 12 years ago, when I saw through this reality, I didn't know what I was seeing, and it took me a long time. That this is a repeat simulated training program, and the cycles of time are to birth you from the flesh mind to the spirit mind. And when you step into the spirit mind and you're up here looking down, even looking at yourself and your programs that you're running on, you can actually step outside yourself mentally and be aware of your thoughts and your words and your actions and your feelings and everything else. So that year, I was aware that I'm in total peace. Everything, I'm in the flow. And I thought, I have one last possibly toxic. I said, is it even real? Because during that year I was thinking, this is not real. And most of the people you knew growing up, they were not real. They did not love you. They don't even know you, most people. And you didn't know them till you get in the spirit, There could be a man and woman who are saved, right? In the spirit, they get along. As soon as they get married and tie into the 3D, all Hades breaks loose. Why? Because there's life and peace in the spirit. But in the natural, man born of woman is full of trouble as the sparks fly upward. Apostle Paul said it's better for man not to touch a woman. So what happens when I touch something? I'm quantum connecting with it. I'm connected. Now, do I have to touch it physically? that's part of it, but also communication can be touch. An image, a fake idea, a fake identity, a false paradigm that was put in front of you, or your own projection onto that person. And so I thought, was it even real? Was my vision or my view of this situation real? And I knew it wasn't. So I said, let me just start over and see if I can quantum connect and get the real view and take my emotions out of it and talk to her and say, is this healthy or not? And it didn't take long to realize that my whole worldview about that situation was wrong. I should have never been a part of it from the get-go. And I went like this, and I just see the stagnation on the other side. And so it tries to pull you back, right? So my point is this: not judging anybody. This person's great in their own ways. And so, but just because they're great doesn't mean I have to quantum connect with something that's not healthy for me, put it that way. They're great. They got their great world, their life. I don't need to quantum connect with it because it wasn't healthy for me. And so I'm not judging. I'm not making a judgment about anybody. I'm just making an observation that's not for me. And so I was able to, I was dropped down into 3D from my 5D state of being for a little while, 6 weeks. And I was sitting here going through the turmoil and the emotions and trying to get my equilibrium and thinking, well, this is not right. This is all fake. This is not real. Trying to figure out how I could have been so deceived and how to get out of that funk, if you want to call it, and get back to my equilibrium. So I knew the only way I was going to be able to do it is force it. I had to force some stuff. And when you hit the hologram, it hits back, right? When you force somebody to, you say, okay, yeah, that's what I needed to see. So what happens is, this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you, just like if a guy goes to the military, he gets, let's say his family's a bunch of rednecks, and he goes to the military and he gets some education. He comes back 4 years later, he's a different man. He comes back, he don't even know his family. They don't know him. He's changed. After 4 years, he's changed. They don't even know him. And so if you really do the inner work in a year, you get your focus, you get your goals, you do all your stuff, you get on point, and you get serious about the inner work and changing and getting out of debt and doing this and doing this and doing this, and you come and somebody shows back up in your hologram, even if you do summons them or think you can use your thoughts to write in the script, even if you use your thoughts to bring them back around, just to see, and you realize it wasn't real. The old you has grown towards wholeness, towards healthy, towards completeness, towards a new vision, a new view, a new everything, new routine, everything. And so you step into that new life. You quantum shift to that new life. You can't go back. Even if you did care about this person, love the person, in love with the person, whatever, you can't go back because there was no quantum connection during that year. You grew into your own reality. They stayed, from your perspective, they stayed in the funk. And when you came back, they tried to pull you back down to the funk, the junk, and you can't do it. And that tie that binds has to be cut. And this is why all the narcissist channels and all the sociopathic channels, all the channels that say it's a toxic relationship, that string has to be cut. Period. Now, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying, I'm saying this to help you understand. If you get away from something, if it crashes and burns for whatever reason, it was probably toxic. As you grow towards wholeness more, you're going to look back, go back, and those people usually don't grow because there's so much drama in their life, so much noise, so much turmoil. It might be court, it might be custody battles, it could be anything. They're so caught up in all this worldly noise that they can't grow because the drama's keeping them stagnated. And you've got to let that go because you set your affections above, not down here. And I'm not judging anybody because I remember being there. You got all these things going on. The kids and the court, or you got so many people around you that you can't even see that it's all a system. It's a system game to drop you back down into the flesh mind. And so you might even love this person, but when you quantum connect, you might fight and argue, and you don't want to fight and argue, and out of nowhere it just shows back up. You're sitting here trying to say, hey, develop your inner person, be aware. Why did you say that? Why aren't you communicating about this? And then you say something and it triggers them and they go crazy. And the weird thing about it is, just like narcissists, when the narcissist has so much shame and guilt and these walls up, that even if they're the ones doing the abuse, they have to blame you for putting them back into that mindset, and you didn't even do anything wrong. And so you realize, hey, this is why it ended before, because it was toxic. And you got out of it, you did the inner work, and they didn't. And maybe they did some. Maybe they did, and maybe it's just, you can't judge anybody. Everybody's at their own pace. Everybody's on the same path, but some people are just moving a little bit faster. And some people are running down the path, some people are walking, some people sat down on the path. Like right here. I could outrun some people on this path, but some people might be outrunning me. But you're still on the same path. But if they get stagnated right here, and they're stopped right here, and you're looking back, and you're looking in the rearview mirror and say, hey, that's toxic. I don't want to be a part of that. Bye. But don't blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's painful. Really painful. It's really painful to the hilt. And so you put yourself in that to see if you can do it. See if you can still. So it was like a test. I knew it had to be a test. I had like 3 or 4 things I wanted to see. I wanted to see if it was fake reality, if I could handle leaving 5D into 3D, if it had to end again, how I would get over it like as fast as possible, and a few other things that don't really matter. And so today I was thinking, okay, so this, how you create a habit pattern, a quantum connection, and it's like a gut-wrenching feeling. So today I was thinking, there's got to be a way to get rid of this, because every moment's a now. I'm already seated in the heavenlies. It's healed. And I was working, and I thought, let me try this. Now this will help you. You can start humming and create a little tune. You hum, and when you go to the doctor and he puts the piece of wood on your mouth, and you say, ah, well, you can go, and create a tune. And what happens is, since your body's an instrument, you look at a guitar or a violin, it's just an image of your body. Your body's the real instrument. So you start to hum, and make a tune out of it, high and low notes, And while you're working, as you're walking, you hum. Nobody needs to hear you. And what happens is, I noticed it's like instantaneously, anytime you say, something in your mind, I miss that person, this is crazy, why am I feeling this way, why can't I get them off my mind? Just hum. Just start humming. And it works. When you go to the doctor, see what's happening is when you go to the doctor and they put that piece of wood on your tongue, right? And he says, the healing starts right there, because so your body got out of whack, the sine wave, so it was a dysfunctional, toxic relationship. So what happens? This toxicity messes up the sine wave, the equilibrium in your body. And so when when you get sick, the sine wave is out of whack. They put the wood on your tongue and you say, the healing starts right then. And then they take your wrist right here and they press that. That goes back to piercing, the piercing of the cross. And so they change. So when they press on that vein, you're changing the sine wave of your blood. You know, they're changing the sine wave. Just like if you have acid reflux, you go get some peanuts and eat that, and you change the sine wave. Peanuts heal acid reflux like that. And so I learned that from my Chinese friend that helped me run a business. I said, I got acid reflux, type it. She said, go get you some peanuts, it'll go away. And it was the truth. It went away instantly. You can do it with peanut butter or peanuts. And I never had acid reflux again. And so anyway, well, when I had it, I just took some peanuts and went away instantly. So anyway, my point is this. I'm glad I'm coming to the end here, right when I needed to. By humming, you're bringing your body back into equilibrium, because you're changing the tune. Your body's an instrument. You're retuning your body. And so you can do that. You can work. You can walk around the block. You can create new hobbies, new patterns, start to meet new people, have conversation with strangers, and just change the programs that are running in your mind. So then you step back, and also you can do this. Like I say, I've been in the state of just being aware for a year. So you step out of yourself. So that's just you standing there. Even if it's a conversation with you, step out of yourself and be aware of your thoughts. And as soon as you catch that thought, I miss that person. You step out of yourself, pay attention to that thought. Okay, you pay attention to yourself, saying, "Hey, I miss that person. I miss that narcissist. I miss that toxic dopamine rush." That's all it is. It's like eating sugar. So you become aware of your thoughts, and as soon as that thought comes in, what are they doing? What are they thinking? What is this? What really happened? You're creating a dysfunction in your body. So then you say, and you do that, and you think about something else. You pick something else up, and I promise you, instantaneously. Now you might have to do this for 21 days. You might have to do it 10 times a day. But I promise you, it's instant healing. And I knew it was possible. So the experiment, I said, let me try it. In August, I thought, can I even do this? Can I come back out of 5D into 3D and get along? Yeah, if it was a healthy person. Let me say it again. I don't want to say that person's not healthy, because they're healthy in their own way. If it's a healthy relationship, if it's not toxic, because we're talking about something toxic, and if that person's involved in toxic people, you're not. They're bringing the toxicity from the people they're around into your hologram. They got their holographic story, and you try to tie in, and you don't know about the toxicity of going on. You just know this hologram, which is peace. And they're used to, and then you might say something that triggers them, and it creates that boom, that connection that you don't want to be a part of. And so then you wake up and you say, hey, it has nothing to do with coming from 5D to 3D as part of it, but it has to come down here and be in a healthy communication, healthy concern, somebody that understands that they have programs, that they don't blame their... Here's the biggest thing I learned through this. If a person has these programs from childhood or previous relationship or whatever, and they respond according to them programs, and they start to act towards you, those old programs, if you call them out on it, say, hey, that's a program, and they're not willing to accept it, and they're going to project, because the demon program blocks them from accepting it because of shame, guilt, whatever. And so that shame keeps them from admitting they have a program, because they think, well, if I admit that program, that person won't love me. Well, it's better to admit the program, have communication, say, I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm not trying to judge you, I'm trying to have a communication where I admit my programs, you admit your programs. If I go into one, you help me. If you go into one, I help you. But if a person has this wall up where they can't see their programs, it'll never work. Praise God. Hallelujah. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Do you miss that old version of that person? Yes. Are you a new version? Yes. Can you go back? Can you leave your new state of mind? If this person, maybe in a year, 2 years, 5 years, this person understands the programs, maybe there could be, but they would have to cut ties, and most people can never cut these ties. The ties that bind, right? You've cut the ties that bind. You only deal with healthy relationships. They still have unhealthy. They can't cut them off. It might be addictive personality, which it most likely is. This addiction personality that they have, they might claim that they don't, but they do have it because they're still around people that they're addicted to or used to be or whatever, and they're still dealing with that. And so these programs that they're running on affect this person. You're not around. You might have programs, but you're willing to admit it, but this person can't admit programs, so it's a wall that they can't see, so they have to project it onto you. And you're like, where did that come from? I'm trying to help you. What, are you crazy? What, are you stupid? What, are you dumb? And if you tell that to some people, that's a trigger. Why'd you call me that? I'm joking. It's a joke. Come on. See? Can't you take a joke? My point is, when you realize, so you drop down out to 5D, you make that connection of something that's not even real, that you wanted to verify, and you say, okay, I see what that was. That was a stepping stone to your wholeness. Whether it's your sister, your brother, your mama, your daddy, your grandmother, your grandparents, your neighbors, all these people that come in and out of your life, it's a process to bring you to wholeness. Your spouse, let's say they either died or you divorced or whatever. That person was a stepping stone. Yeah, they're real people. Yeah, God loves them. Praise God. He died for everybody. But for you who were moving towards wholeness, these people got stuck in the programs, the music, the holidays, the emotional programs around the mountain. They got stuck here. And the people that they hang out with, they're all running on programs, so they all are like enabling each other as a codependency, enabling to poor pitiful you. Oh, you're always the victim. I'm sorry. Stay the victim. We need you to stay as a victim, because if you don't stay in the victim mindset, we don't understand who you are, and you might leave us and abandon us if you don't stay the victim. So you just stay in the victim mindset, and the only people that can come in your world is who allow you to stay in the victim mindset. And you say, no, I don't think so. You're either going to rise up and quit having the victim mentality, or you're going to stay in the pity party. Just stay in that pity party. Everybody around you's crazy, but you stay with them. Just stay over there. I don't think so. They want you to be like these other sick, toxic people around them, and you say no. And so then there might be a punishment, because you won't go back. You won't be a part of that. So they're going to try to punish you. And when those waves of the past is not even real. Those toxic dopamine rushes kick in. You got to find a way. And one way you can do it is do the and create a song out of it while you're working or whatever. And I promise you it works. I know it sounds new age, but I promise you, your body's the real instrument. And your body, if you've been around toxic, I don't care who you are, and you know it works. You know it works because if somebody makes you mad, you've watched a person get mad before, and they like, they're doing that to calm down. So it's changing the sine wave in your body. And not only that, the people with PTSD from the military, they listen to bees and it calms them down. So that humming noise, okay, let's say I'm sitting here now and I'm in peace and something triggers my mind to remember this psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic, toxic relationship that I used to be in, but by going back, it triggers a memory. It's just not me. So that thought comes to your mind. Wonder what's her name's doing? I wonder what she's doing. Wonder what she's saying. Well, you already know because she hasn't changed. So you don't even need to ask that question anymore. How is she doing? She's still a victim. She's still in codependency and all that stuff. So you don't even have to ask the question. But as soon as that thought hits you, just go, whatever you need to do, hum, turn a song on, but don't turn a song on that makes you remember or whatever. Turn some classical on, whatever. Stay in your new reality, whatever it takes. But that humming is instant healing, I promise you. Here's what you do. Take a deep breath. And I'm not trying to be new age at all. Your body's a temple. You've got to cleanse out your body. Oxygen is ox. Ox is the oxen, the blood sacrifice. Take a deep breath and go, and all of a sudden those thoughts from the past just go away instantly. Now you might have to do it 5 minutes, every 5 minutes or every 3 hours, but you do that. You take a deep breath, get you some oxygen, just like the doctor puts that thing on your tongue, say, and you can experiment with the humming to affect your hand, your arm, your elbow, your chest. You can change the frequency of the hum to affect your body, your legs, your feet. You can change the frequency where it goes through your whole body. I'm not being new age. I promise you this is not new age. It works. And the reason it's not new age, because your body's a temple, and the sine wave, the toxic relationship took you out of the peaceful sine wave, or you were actually above the sine wave, and it dropped you down into emotions. So the number one thing is get in the Bible and meditate on the Word. Do those experiments. Like I say, take a deep breath. Take care of yourself. Take a shower. Take 3 showers you have to. Clean your toilet. Clean your room. Throw out, if it was somebody that actually lived in your house, throw out all memories of that person. Call them up and say, hey, your stuff's going to be on the curb. Well, I'm not coming back for 2 months. Well, it's going to the dump. Call your mom or somebody to come get it. Because I don't want any memories of you in this house anymore. Because if you stay in toxic, you cannot grow. If you focus on you can create new memories. You can rewrite this history that wasn't even real. So the only reason I decided to go back is to see if it was real. And it wasn't. It wasn't even real. It was fake. And some of these people have been married 20, 30 years and they realized they were a narcissist. Their whole reality was fake for 30 years. And they didn't want to wake up. But when they wake up, they have to go to counseling. But I'm showing you how to do it without counseling. You don't even have to have a counselor because your body's a temple and you change the frequency by saying or make a song out of it, Or put some classical music. Put some different music on that's peaceful. Change your routine. Change your pattern. Go buy some new socks or whatever. New pair of shoes. And I can imagine somebody doesn't even want to get out of bed because of some kind of fake reality connection that wasn't even real. It was a delusion. It was actually it wasn't even them. You actually projected on them what you wanted them to be. But when you found out what they really were, the red flags were always there. When you found out what they really were, it was cognitive dissonance. And when you start to reveal what they are, what do? They hide. They run away for a month, 2 months, a year, whatever, however long it takes to see if you're still going to believe that fake reality. And they're actually believing a fake reality of themselves too, and a fake reality of you that you're not going to ever walk away, Seriously. They don't care if you walk away or not because they got 2 or 3 that they're talking to that keeps them busy. They don't care if you walk away because they know you'll probably be back unless you wake up. And if you wake up, they don't care. They lost some supply, but they got 4 or 5 supplies, but they're all toxic. So you don't, and a year later, you'll come back and say, oh, it got worse for you? Oh, I'm definitely not coming back because it got worse. Because the longer they stay in the fake reality bubble that they've created, I call it the queen bee bubble, as long as they stay in that fake reality bubble, the people they bring in are more toxic than this one was because this one said, I escaped. And they're going to be destroying each other even faster. The only light that there was this toxic group over here, the only light they had was you. You leave, this starts to crash and burn and go insane. And they have to blame you. They talk amongst themselves, said, this is why we're having problems. Well, you're doing good. Pay off your bills, 2 jobs, eat, sleep, health, walk, ride your bike, whatever. And they're still over here fighting and arguing and more chaos. But they still going to blame you because they can't look at themselves. Because that demon program blinds them. It's a demon program. Whew. Praise God. I'm already free. You're already free. Those little ghosts, these are ghosts. The string's been cut. These are only ghost strings. They're not real. So when this ghost string tries to pull you back into old thoughts, old habits, old depression, old whatever, I can't get out of bed. When those strings try to pull you back, they're not real. Start to do the work. Walk around the block. Hum. Whatever you need to do. Create new sine wave patterns. Build some new friendships. Healthy friendships. Don't go back to something that's familiar spirit. The only reason I was probably even in this because it was a familiar spirit of a family member that I was raised around. And that familiar spirit was really because you love some family members, and that familiar spirit was just like a family member, but it was just a familiar spirit. That person wasn't even, that familiar spirit you felt, it was not even real. It's a ghost string. So once you cut all the strings, those strings on me, right? Once you cut all the strings, those ghost strings no longer exist because you've already made the decision that this was fake reality. And so you're over here healthy. And you hope this person gets healthy. The chances of them catching up with you, though, on the path, it's almost impossible. Don't expect them to miraculously say, oh, I'm better. And if they do, try the spirits because they're not going to be able to do it. Because they got all these unhealthy, toxic relationships they're dealing with. And unless they just leave, Abraham and Sarah left the Ur of the Chaldees, unless they leave their... Even if they leave, they look back. Lot's wife, she looked back. Some of the children of Israel looked back. Some of the people that didn't get on the boat, they look back. Everybody who looks back gets destroyed. God usually sends a prophet or a teacher or somebody to say, come up here. And they choose to stay in the pig pen. But you can't go back. The prodigal son, he went back and about killed him. He finally came out. His dad didn't chase him. You don't chase them. Let them hit rock bottom. It's the only way they're going to get out of this toxic reality that their reality bubble. They can't even admit that they're part of it, because that demon program blinds them. Do you hear what I'm saying, people?